I could write my own name when I was just a month old, but my mom didn't think it was anything to be proud of at all. She even wiped off the letters I wrote with a look of disgust. My dad was even worse. He totally favored boys over girls. When he saw that I was a girl, he stormed off without looking back in a rage. On the day I left the hospital, she wouldn't even hold me. She thought even carrying me was a hassle. She kept complaining the whole way that having a daughter cost so much money. When getting in the car, she threw me into the trunk like garbage. Then she drove that beat-up used car, speeding recklessly down the road, not caring if I lived or died. After getting out of the car, the whole family went inside, leaving me all alone in the trunk. What kind of parents are these? Just thinking about it makes me feel sad and helpless. But I was pretty tough though. I could wash up by myself at 1 year old. I could dress myself by 2. By the time I was 4, I had to fend for myself. My dad was busy messing with used cars. My mom dressed up to the nines to go gamble. My brother went to school, leaving me Matilda all alone at home to survive on my own. When I was hungry, I cooked for myself. I cracked 2 eggs skillfully, added a spoonful of cake flour, stirred it up and fried it in a pan. A plate of waffles was ready. Eating the food I made myself, flipping through my favorite magazines. This was my happiest moment, but I'd read all the magazines at home. I wanted to read books so badly. I mustered up the courage to ask my dad for books, but my dad said watching TV was way more fun. Why bother reading books? My brother was also really impatient. He pushed me aside, afraid of missing a single second of TV. I didn't cry or throw a fit. I knew deep down no one in this family could be relied on. If I wanted something, I had to fight for it myself. The next day after my parents went to work, I looked through the phone book and found the library's address. Even though it was 10 kilometers from my house, it couldn't stop me from wanting to read. When I got to the library, I politely asked the librarian lady, then headed straight for the children's book section. The librarian lady was really confused. How could a kid as young as me come alone, without any adults with me? She'd never seen anything like it. I didn't need anyone to take care of me at all. Sitting quietly on the sofa reading by myself, that was my happiest thing to do. Ever since I found out how to get to the library, I went there every single day, reading one book after another like I could never get enough, finding everything I wanted in the books. The librarian lady, who'd been watching me for months, was touched by how much I loved reading. She made an exception and gave me a library card, so I could borrow books to read at home, saving me from running there every day. Time flew by so fast. I was already 7 years old enough to go to school. I told my dad I wanted to go to school, but he insisted I was only 4. He even dragged me to ask my mom, to prove he was right. My mom was a bit more reliable, I guess. She said I was 5. These two were truly a match made in heaven. When he heard I wanted to go to school, my dad actually started worrying. There were piles of packages at home. Someone had to collect them. And just like that, my dream of going to school was ruined just because of package collection. I went back to my room. Sad tears fell on my book. I wanted so badly to be like the characters in the books, to go to school and study, to make some new friends. But all these things only seemed to exist in stories. One day my dad came home all happy, because he'd sold a lot of used cars. He wanted my brother to help him calculate how much money he'd made. But as soon as he finished saying the numbers, I blurted out the answer right away. My dad didn't believe me at all. He even said I peeked at the bill. I argued that he'd been holding the bill the whole time. My dad, who felt humiliated, actually used his adult strength to bully me, a kid who'd done nothing wrong. I thought it was so unfair. He could bully me just because he was an adult. So I'd fight back in my own way. I'd read so many books. Couldn't I deal with someone who only loved watching TV? So I snuck into my dad's room, took my mom's bleach, and mixed it into my dad's hair oil. My dad, who knew nothing about it, was still lecturing my brother the next morning, saying that people should care about their appearance. He even said he sold so many cars because of his looks. But after he happily put on the hair oil, his hair turned completely white. He fainted right away after looking in the mirror. In the end, he had no choice. He had to go to work wearing a hat, because he'd made a ton of money the day before. He proudly took us to the car shop, and personally taught my brother the secret to making money, teaching him to refurbish old cars and sell them as new ones, saying that's how to trick customers and make big money. I totally disagreed with what my dad was doing, but my dad still had the nerve to argue, saying no one gets rich by being honest in this world. I couldn't help but say it was a crime, that it was playing with customers' lives, and I got yelled at by my dad for it. Feeling wronged, I saw some super glue, and suddenly thought of another idea. Decided to teach my dad another lesson. When the whole family was going out for dinner, I took the initiative to hand my dad his hat, but I'd covered the inside with glue earlier. When we got to the restaurant, Dad couldn't take off his hat no matter what, so he had to ask my mom for help. But when they both pulled hard, they made a huge mess in the restaurant. In the end, the hat was pulled off forcefully, taking a big clump of hair with it. Dad looked at himself in the mirror, shaking with anger, and had no one to take it out on. So he tried to turn on the TV to relax, but when he turned his head, he saw me reading a book again. His anger flared up instantly. He turned off the desk lamp in one swipe, snatched my book and tore it up, and forced me to watch TV. This time I was completely furious. Superpowers suddenly appeared in my eyes. The TV in front of me exploded with a bang. After this incident, Dad just sent me to school, but I never expected. This school was nothing like what I imagined.